Hi, I'm Daina, and I will give a quick information about how import works and what is behind the magic of import. So during imports, there are two things we are doing: creating data structures and importing data into those data structures. So there is, I can say, a two-part process. And import also is magical in a way that we try to build it so that import should fix almost all data and data structure problems. But sometimes some import should be done with some additional instructions, I would say. So there is quite rare conditions, it's mostly some errors or bugs if you can do that, if that doesn't help. So what happens during import? And there are three types of import: full import, incremental import, and process events for cloud only. And for full import, we will create or update data structures and will request, this is an example for Jira, but it's similar for other applications as well. We will request all issues from Jira and reimport all issues in eazyBI. During incremental import, we will create or update data structures. We'll request only new or updated issues from source or Jira in this case, and reimport only, and will reimport all the information about those data or those issues in eazyBI. And process events, we will also create or update data structures, and Jira will, we are collecting webhooks sent by Jira, and we will only import data based on those webhooks. So in summary, creates or update data structures happen in any import, no matter if it's incremental, full import, process import. We will always make, because we need to make sure that data structures are correct according to those import selections. And the only difference is what the data we are importing. Do we request all data and reimport all data, or we are importing only partial data and we request also partial data? And as mentioned, import type incremental or full import will import only data, will change data amount which is pulled in. And if you need to update data, even for example, one field for one issue, for all issues, you need to run full reimport. And there is some specific case when it's not needed, but typically you need to run full import if at least one value for all issues should be updated. So, and therefore it's import, and full import is quite heavy. It especially if you have large accounts, for example, 1 million issues, it will take a longer time. Or if many custom fields and many fields, it will take a lot of time. Therefore, so it's good to know what type of import happens. Incremental imports are typical daily basis. Every scheduled import is regular. Irregularly scheduled imports are incremental imports. And if you click import on source data, even if you do it manually, it will still run incremental import if there is if previous import was finished successfully and there is no additional conditions. So even if you need to update a data before submitting, you can click import and it will import incrementally. And full import, always the first import is full import, it will always take time. And there are other cases when it will import automatically, run full import. So if you change import options by adding some selections, I would say, and then click import or save and import, it will automatically run full reimport. So no need to run it once again after that. So then if you reset authorization, you need to click import to reset those permissions, and we also will run full import after that. Of course, if you click reimport all data, also it will run as expected. And then the next is that after empty cube, and then you click import, it also will be full import. And there is also a place that we sometimes initiate full import automatically after some specific changes when we need to make sure that all the data is updated. But we try to avoid this as much as possible because full import is heavy, and we try to not to do it. I think it wasn't, on latest versions there is no full import automatically. I think there are 3 or 4 versions where no regular full imports, as we try to avoid it. So, and here are 2 examples where on this. For example, if you have changed JavaScript for some calculated fields, there are several talks today and yesterday about the JavaScript are used quite a lot. Then there are, and if the logic of the JavaScript is changed, you need it's one value for all the issues. Then you need to reimport all the issues to update it. And if the JavaScript is in import options as calculated fields within import, then any change in those import options will automatically run full import. You do not need to force it additionally. It will be picked up. But if the field is global field in eazyBI advanced settings, then we will not force it. It will be run incremental import. Then you need to explicitly pick reimport and all the, to get the full import. And another option for typically is for issue links. Also, if the logic, for example, inward type, outward type changes, or link type or issue type changes for issue link description, it also changes the logic, and you need to make sure that data is reimported with full reimport. And then there is another option that, and if Jira have changed, for example, you have select fields in Jira, and you change some selection in those field settings, option values was changed. Jira will not mark issues with those values as updated. Then you need to reimport all the data out by clicking, for example, reimport, or after empty cube and click import. And for example, if SQL query has changed and, for example, removes data automatically, we typically do not remove old values. And if you want to get rid of them, for example, if there are large accounts with many projects, and sprints will continue to come in, new sprints with every sprint cycle. And if you add a SQL query to the account, it will not remove all sprints automatically. And sometimes it could grow quite a large dimension. You might need to get rid of them. The previous version was that you need to do empty cube and then click import to get rid of old values. And with currently in cloud and with 8.1, you have the option delete members with no data in all hierarchy level members, so that you can delete those fields without full import, because as I mentioned, full import is quite heavy, and we suggest to avoid it as much as possible. So, and then the next part is about data structures. We are trying to update data structures automatically on any import, but not all changes are actually processed automatically. And there are 3 typical cases, and usually those are related with custom field option changes. And those 3 types are the most common ones that might require some additional imports. The first is display name rename, either in eazyBI, if it's already imported field, or in Jira, you have renamed your field. Then typically, for some fields, it was not fully supported for several fields, and duplicated dimensions were created. And with 8.1 or Cloud on currently, it will automatically rename correctly in reports and in dimensions and how they are used in reports as well. Then the data type and data type option change. It's also supported for reasonable data type changes with 8.1. Previously, it was only for sometimes, but reasonable data type change, we do not allow change integer to date, because typically they are not changeable normally, for example. But string to numeric values can be changed. And then the last one is dimension option changes. Multiple values, separate values are the most common ones. Enabling is supported. You can add those options to your fields, but if you want to disable those options, for example, remove multiple values or remove separate table, actually it will not work as needed. And in those cases, double import is needed, so that it means that you disable custom field with any options, run an import, it will remove previous structures, set new settings, and select back and import again. This will create new data structures. And typically this is the case how you fix if the problems with the field. So, thank you.
Thank you for useful insights just about these multiple values and separate table things. So just if these custom fields has been defined in global settings, so that means just enabling disabled will always cause I will need to do the full reimport. Is it correct?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's on global settings or it's in import options. If you have already imported the field and you disable this option multiple values, for example, for the field, then you typically need to run double import. And I mentioned that changes in import option will run automatically import. If you will remove selections, it will run incremental import. If you add selections, then it will be only one full import. Double import, but only one of them should be. And of course, if you will remove options and add some other field options on the same, then it will run full import twice.
Thank you.